Alright. So today's topic is going to be based on God is not pro-life. I don't know how many videos it's going to take to encompass this, because if you watched my last video, it was only one page. This one is 3. I shrunk the words so I could fit it. I have to use a library, so printing isn't cheap. But the subject is God is not pro-life. And we're going to go through their subject of it. And we're going to go through each of their arguments, evilbible.com, their arguments that God is not pro-life. And we're going to go through each of the arguments. Like I said, it's going to take several videos because there's a lot of information here. And if you saw the last video, it has the potential to go long. So I'm going to break this up into parts, into its subsections. Okay, and I'm gonna start reading. The biblical God is not pro-life. He advocates child murder, infanticide, child abuse, and abortion. Statement, flat out. I see so many Christians talking about abortion being a crime against God. It's not a wonder that they are hard-pressed to find a conclusive biblical statement to corroborate their position. In their determination to control women, they have been forced to rely on exceedingly weak sections such as thou shalt not kill, which we've already got into, means do not murder, not kill. I kneweth thou in the womb, and their favorite, when men strive together and hurt a woman with child, so that there is a miscarriage, and yet no harm follows, the one who hurt her shall be fined according as the woman's husband shall lay upon, and he shall pay as the judges determine. If any harm follows, then you shall give a life for an life, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Exodus 21, verses 22 through 24. The problem here is that the man who injures a pregnant woman in the process shall repay her according to the degree of the injury inflicted on her, not the fetus. I am often dumbfounded on how Christians can assume that abortion is wrong, judging by these feeble verses, when the Bible clearly advocates infanticide and many other atrocities against children and pregnant women. I can no longer allow such ignorance of the Bible and deem it necessary to expose the true agenda. Good for you. I am tired of many young Christians who are brainwashed by their clergy. Me too. They are only taught the love and mercy parts of the Bible and never bothered to read what is not preached openly. Preach it, sister. I know you're a girl because you mentioned that you're a girl from Evil Bible, Invisible Pink Unicorn. Where was I? Oh yeah. The church thrives off speaking half-truths and concealing their blood-soaked robes. Of course, my job as preacher of an atheist parish is to give a sermon about those things that the Bible truthfully commands. Here they are. God's views of the unborn, the actions of the righteous men, and God's commands of infanticide and child abuse. Note, there are Torah verses in this list But I will not attack the Jewish faith for being pro-life, since they are not rampant advocates of the matter. Okay, cool. So we'll stop there, because then they go into the next subsection. Okay, so there was some truth in there, and that was beautiful. I loved it. But I find it funny that, of course, my job as a preacher of an atheist parish is to give a sermon. So, are you religious? Atheist? Because it seems like you get together just like Christians do to do things that you say, I don't know, religion's stupid. It's what I always remembered. I remember being an atheist, hearing if atheists went to an atheist church, you were still going to church. I won't make fun of you. But I think the way you attack things is hilarious. That's what I'll say. Oh, but yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, it does, specifically does say, you know, in the Old Testament that, you know, a life for a life. And yeah, you get in trouble for killing somebody else. And here, yeah, if she has a miscarriage because of the injury, which means the potential for life is gone, the husband of the wife who had the miscarriage gets to decide what punishment he wants you to serve. Because what's the life worth to him? So yeah. Oh yeah, no. They get punished. Read it. Read it. But let's go on to the first subsection. That was the introduction. Lovely introduction. Yeah, I do believe that horrible things should be preached about, the hard stuff. So we can go through it like we are right now, honestly, with a genuine Christian who wants to be proved wrong. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. I kind of want that to happen. Okay, here we go. So, Hosea. Okay, so the first subsection is abortion. Right? Abortion right here. Okay? We're going through this. These are their examples of God is not pro-life. In fact, he advocates abortion. He advocates abortion. So right here in Hosea 9, chapter 9, verses 11 through 16. They say, Hosea prays for God's intervention. Ephraim shall bring forth his children to the murderer. Give them, O Lord, what wilt thou give? Give them a miscarrying womb and dry breasts. Ephraim is smitten, their root is dried up. They shall bear no fruit. Yea, though they bring forth, yet I will slay even the beloved fruit of their womb. Clearly, Hosea desires that the people of Ephraim can no longer have children. And of course, God obeys by making all of their unborn children miscarry. Is not terminating a pregnancy unnaturally abortion? We'll get back. Numbers 5, verses 11 through 21. There's like 2 sentences here, so I know that's not the whole thing. So, being disingenuous again. The description of a bizarre, brutal, and abusive ritual to be performed on a wife suspected of adultery. This is considered to be an induced abortion to rid a woman of another man's child. Numbers 31, verse 17, and apparently this is Moses talking. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that hath known man by lying with him. In other words, women that might be pregnant, which clearly is abortion for the fetus, they say. Hosea, verse 13 through 16. The last one, we delved into that a little bit, so I'm not going to go there. Well, you know what? I will go ahead and go there. God promises to dash to pieces the infants of Samaria, and their women shall be ripped up. Once again, this God kills the unborn, including their pregnant mothers. In 2 Kings chapter 15, verse 16, God allows the pregnant women of Tapua to be ripped open. And the Christians have the audacity to say God is pro-life. How in the hell is it that Christians can read passages where God allows pregnant women to be murdered and claim abortion is wrong? I'm already going to tell you that most of these aren't legitimate arguments, because most of them are allegorical. They're hyperbole? Is that the word? No, maybe if I utterly destroy you, brother, I didn't actually destroy everything about you like a particle laser or something. You know, I defeated you, but I said it in such a way that adds resound. These are books. This is literature. So, let's take everything literal, shall we? Guess what? Giants once walked the earth. Dragons. Literal angels fell from the sky and impregnated humans. All right. Now, let me start with Hosea 3:16, okay? Obviously, that's allegorical. All right. When we read all of that, Hosea 3:16, 13, chapter 13, verse 16. Jesus, if I can only speak today. Their infants shall be dashed in pieces, and their women with child ripped open. This was judgment upon Israel. Armies were going to come and kill and destroy them. God wasn't doing it. They were being punished for doing the wrong thing, breaking the rules. And so when they say they're literally ripping them open, oh my God, no, that's violent. Read it. Read it through. I'm not going to do that to you anymore. Where it's short, I will. But when you read all of 13, not just the verse. I hate it when Christians pull verses out of their butt and use it like what's that? Jeremiah whatever, I have a plan for you, says the Lord, to not harm you or whatever. Christians use that a lot to say, oh, he's going to take care of me. It's like, how has your life been? You're always going to maybe come out on the other end. Yeah, God has a plan, but guess what? He's not making everything hunky-dory for you. But I'm not going to get all preacher right now. Let me just finish. I'm not going to go on to this, but a lot of this is metaphorical. Not like metaphorical in the way, it's like it's describing how horrible your punishment is going to be. Because you did something wrong. You broke the rules. So you get a punishment, and the rules were agreed upon once before. That's the nature of this story. If you have a hard time with it, whatever, go out there, smoke weed, and kill someone. See if you don't get in trouble. See if you don't go to jail or something. Get with the program. Anyways, allegorical. Let's do Hosea 9, chapter 9, verses 11 through 16, where he calls for the barrenness of whoever he's trying to get intervened. No, it's chapter 9. And again, this is judgment of Israel's sin. Israel has done something wicked and evil. And this Ephraim is a city. It's a group that did something wrong. So because they did something wrong, they're going to get in trouble. That happened to all of us in school. You break the rules, you break it, you buy it. If you break it, you own it. What the hell? You think this is a problem? You really think it's a problem for an all-knowing creator? Guess what? If this thing is broken, guess what? I'm going to throw it away. Because it doesn't serve its purpose. Who are you to judge? I mean, really? What moral superiority do you have? They're talking again allegorically, not actually. Pray to have their wombs dried up. Really? You think that can happen? You really think that can happen? God, of course, obeys by making all of their unborn children miscarry. It doesn't... Yeah. They're wicked and evil, and maybe there are natural reasons and explanations for this. Science! These things are history and they happen. Maybe there's a science reason behind it. Oh my God, all these people got killed? All this happened? I thought God didn't exist. So what? if God didn't exist and he killed all of these people that actually existed, wait. So you think God exists? If this is even an argument for you. I mean, unless you gave me a definitive number of people in the Bible God killed, indirect or ordered, and directly. He himself directly killed people who existed, mind you. Hold up your argument to be true. It's allegorical. I'm not going to spend all this time trying to explain how something is more descriptive than what it means. We all have read books. We can all be honest. Okay, so Numbers 31, chapter 31, verse 17. Let me get here first, so that. All right, so Numbers, what was it, 31, verse 17? It was Moses, now therefore kill every man among the little ones, and kill every woman that hath known a man lying with him. Let's see what this says, because this honestly sounds like it's the King James version, because it's the Shakespearean talk. But we'll do it. Numbers 31, chapter 31, verse 17. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman who has known a man intimately. Well, guess what? The Bible pretty much says that. Verbatim. Let's read around it a little bit, though. Let's see. Let's see what we can do. Let's start. Where can we start so we aren't completely disingenuous? Okay. And Moses, Eleazar the priest, and all of the leaders of the congregation went to meet them outside the camp. This is the return from war. After they just went through all this war. They're coming back. But Moses was angry with the officers of the army, with the captains over thousands and captains over hundreds, who had come from the battle. And Moses said to them, have you kept all the women alive? Look, these women caused the children of Israel, through the counsel of Balaam, to trespass against the Lord in the incident of Peor, and there was a plague among the congregation of the Lord. Now therefore kill every male among the little ones. Kill every woman who has known a man intimately. But keep alive for yourselves all the young girls who have not known a man intimately. And as for you, remain outside the camp for 7 days. Whoever has killed any person, and whosoever has touched any slain, purify yourself and your captives on the 3rd day and on the 7th day. purify every garment, everything made of leather, everything woven of goat's hair, everything made of wood. Then Eleazar the priest said to the men of war who had gone into battle, this is the ordinance of the law which the Lord commanded Moses. Only the gold, the silver, the bronze and the iron and the tin and the lead, everything that can endure a fire, you shall put through the fire, and it shall be clean. And it shall be purified with the water of purification. But all that cannot endure a fire, you shall put through water. And you shall wash your clothes on the 7th day, and be clean, and afterward you may return to camp. The division later of the plunder. So, what can we take from that? It's rough. It's a rough topic to deal with, because yeah, it happens. It is said for the women who were intimate with a man to be slain. And also kill every male among the little ones. So that means all the boy children. Do we understand why these people were even killed or taken captive, or why it was happening anyways in the historical context? Again, I mentioned that a lot of these groups of people sacrificed their children to Baal. These people would, you know why pig is unclean? What I've gotten from it is that these groups of people used to lay with the pigs and use them as a sacrifice towards their god. But they sacrificed children in the flaming metal hands of Baal. So when they brought the people in, the women who were pure, yeah, stayed because they were uncorrupted to them, apparently. Is that right? I don't know. It doesn't sound right to me, but that's what they thought. And all the women who had known a man, yeah, they did. Is that right? No. It's something we've got to talk about. You know, it seems wrong. It really does. It seems wrong to do that, but I guess you can take it like if you were going to war and you brought back captives, not slaves, captives. Would you allow them to run rampant in your society without holding your values? And if they can't, if the person you brought is from evil, you have one of two things. You either kill them or take them captive. If something is evil, that's what you do. So, we can discuss this more further when we get to ritual human sacrifice. So, Another one, just so we can hurry and finish. We'll do the Numbers chapter 5:1. So they say, Numbers chapter 5 verses 11 through 21 is the description of a bizarre, brutal, and abusive ritual to be performed on a wife suspected of adultery. This is considered to be an induced abortion to rid the woman of another man's child. So this is rough. 11 through 21. In mine, it's titled Ceremonially Unclean Persons Isolated. The unclean person to be removed from the camp. Restitution prescribed. Sacred things belong to the priest. The trial of jealousy. It gives me a chain reference to this in Leviticus 15 verses 1 through 33. Guessing because what I have is a chain reference Bible, so it connects one verse to another verse to another verse to another verse to show how everything is connected. Genuinely. So if you want, you can look at Leviticus 15 verses 1 through 33 for about this chapter. But this is concerning unfaithful wives. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel and say to them, if any man's wife goes astray and behaves unfaithfully towards him, and a man lies with her carnally, and it is hidden from the eye of her husband, and it is concealed that she has defiled herself, and there was no witness against her, nor was she caught. If the spirit of jealousy comes upon him, and he becomes jealous of his wife who has defiled herself, or if the spirit of jealousy comes upon him, and he becomes jealous of his wife, although she has not defiled herself, then the man shall bring his wife to the priest. He shall bring the offering required for her, 1/10 of an ephah of barley meal. He shall pour no oil on it, and put no frankincense on it, because it is a grain offering for jealousy, an offering for remembering, for bringing iniquity to remembrance. And the priest shall bring her near and set her before the Lord. The priest shall take the holy water in the earthen vessel, and take some of the dust that is on the floor of the tabernacle, and put it into the water. Then the priest shall stand the woman before the Lord, uncover the woman's head, and put the offering for remembering into her hands, which is the grain offering for jealousy. And the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that brings a curse. And after the priest shall put her under oath, and say to the woman, if no man has lain with you, and if you have not gone astray to uncleanliness while under your husband's authority, be free from this bitter water that brings a curse. But if you have gone astray while under your husband's authority, and if you have defiled yourself, and some man other than your husband has lain with you, then the priest shall put the woman under the oath of the curse, and he shall say to the woman, the Lord make you a curse and an oath among your people when the Lord makes your thigh rot. When the Lord makes your thigh rot and your belly swell. And may this water cause the curse go into your stomach. We're already at verse 22. They didn't put in enough. Then may this water that causes the curse go into your stomach and make your belly swell and your thigh rot. And the woman shall say, Amen, so be it. Then the priest shall write these curses in a book, and she shall scrape them off into the bitter water. And he shall make the woman drink the bitter water that brings the curse, and the water that brings the curse shall enter her to become bitter. Then the priest shall make the grain offering of the jealousy from the woman's hand, and shall wave the offering before the Lord and bring it to the altar. And the priest shall make a handful of the offering as its memorial portion, burn it on the altar, and then afterwards make the woman drink the water. When he has made her drink the water, then it shall be, if she has defiled herself and behaved unfaithfully toward her husband, that the water that bring a curse will enter her and become bitter, and her belly swell, and her thigh will rot, and the woman will become a curse among her people. But if the woman has not defiled herself and is clean, then she shall be free and may conceive children. This is the law of jealousy, when a wife, while under her husband's authority, goes astray and defiles herself. 30 or when the spirit of jealousy comes upon a man, and he becomes jealous of his wife, then he shall stand the woman before the Lord, and the priest shall execute all this law upon her. Then the man shall be free from iniquity, but that woman shall bear her guilt. Oh, that's practically the whole chapter. Where is it? So, what it is here. Sorry, it took me a while to try to process the information in here. They read that in the completely wrong way. After reading that, does it sound like this is considered to be an induced abortion to rid the woman of another man's child? That didn't sound like that at all. What it sounded like is a ridiculous sounding ritual. That is to say, a man got jealous because he's a cheater. That didn't say that. Typically, why men are jealous is because they're cheaters. They've cheated before. They know how to cheat. So it's very easy to suspect others of it. Just so I can add a little fire to the fodder for for atheists, because, yeah, most likely these guys were disgusting pigs. But it's a trial. It's only a trial. So it doesn't induce an abortion. What it says is if you drink it, if she's clean, you'll have children. But if she's unclean, she won't be able to have children. If she did something wrong and she spoke the oath. Oaths are meant to have someone who's above you hold you accountable for the things you say. Accountability for your actions. Following the rules. So, I don't think they've made a really good case here that God promotes abortion, because none of these are abortion. None of these suggest actual abortion. So, if you want to comment, or you want to argue, or you want to say how they actually did make their case right, that these actually do say that God advocates abortion, you can mention it down in the comments, or you can email me directly at themichaelshornshow@gmail.com. That's themichaelshornshow@gmail.com. Ask me questions. You can tell me I'm wrong. You can try and prove your case. I will genuinely put things out as they are. I'm not going to lie. I did skip one of these. 2 Kings chapter 15, verse 16. Mostly because this is these videos run so long, because I actually have to read everything in context so that people can't just come out and say I'm being disingenuous, I'm lying, I'm leaving things out. I want to be as thorough as possible, because it's my belief that you can't sit here and say that the synopsis of the Bible comes from the verse, "Now therefore kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that hath known a man by lying with him." Numbers 31:17. No. That is a single phrase out of a chapter. That is a chapter out of a book. That is in a book out of the entire Bible. So, you got to read the context of the verse and the context of the chapter. And you got to understand the context of the chapter and the context of the entire book. And then you got to read the entire book in the context of the entire Bible to see what it really means. Otherwise, if you just start pulling out verses like Christians, you're being disingenuous. You're being a liar. So unfortunately, these videos go so long because I have to sit here and they take a phrase, make an idea about it, when the entire chapter doesn't even do it. So, I feel like at least at this point I've proved by the examples they gave, these do not support that God isn't pro-life. I don't even know what that's even supposed to mean when it comes to abortion. So far, maybe God likes killing children. Infanticide. There's infanticide, the murdering of children, and child abuse. We've got those left to see if God is truly pro-life. You know, I've already knocked off the abortion argument. Let's see if these others stand the test. So, At least one of these over here I had a hard time dealing with. You know, where Moses says, yeah, I kill these people. In my heart, yeah, that hurts, but we haven't gotten there yet. When we do, we'll discuss it. Okay? I'm hoping we have been able to understand religions a little more today. Next week, we'll continue this topic of, not next week, maybe in a couple days, depending on how well this all works out. We'll continue with infanticide under God is Not Pro-Life by evilbible.com. And if you made it all the way to the end here, really, really appreciate it. Really do. And if you want to know a little fact about me, my favorite movie is Fight Club. Have a wonderful day.